up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I just finished watching episode 7, season 2 of The Boys, and oh my gosh, where do I freaking begin? Just when I thought that I have seen it, just when I thought that something was the craziest thing that I have seen, something else happens. Okay, let's take it from the top. So, in this episode, we see Butcher getting a little darker than normal because he is really after Homelander. We see finally his mom, his dad. He really hates his dad, like bad. He blames his brother's passing on his dad. I believe his brother probably self-deleted. We don't know. I'm not exactly sure what the situation was and what happened. But anyway, so there's just so much happening in this episode. It's crazy. All right, so and Mallory go to visit the doctor to kind of figure out if he can help with this trial, help take Vought down, since he knows firsthand what it is. He practically raised Homelander. And he's kind of on the fence about it because he's got a family and things like that. But then later on, Butcher pays him another visit and threatens to kill his entire family if he doesn't help. That's how bad he wants Homelander to be taken down. So, I guess he agrees. And I'll get to that in a little bit. So in the meantime, Maeve is trying to come to terms with who she is, and her ex is still just not, she's just not having it. She is probably scared of her at this point. They're going back and forth, not arguing, but she's kind of trying to convince her to just, stick around. She doesn't want anything to happen to her. And Maeve gets to a point where she gets really upset and she flips the whole table, scares the hell out of her girl or her ex or whatever, but she's just not, she doesn't want no parts of Maeve, like at all. She's just needs some space. So then we see her in bed with a dude, and the girl, I forget her name, the one who's now in charge of everything, she's trying to convince her, like, what are you doing, and blah blah blah. And Maeve is just like, look, try to be a human for once. And I think that was the first time that it kind of brought homegirl down. You guys know who I'm talking about. I forget her name, but anyway, Lamplighter. So they're trying to figure out what to do with him because they just don't know. Like, the crew is just trying to figure it out. They all go their separate ways to handle their business. Meanwhile, Huey is left to go babysit him. And he is sitting there watching porn with all these superheroes. Well, they're parodies, of course. But I'm just like, oh my God. And Huey is just like, this can't be happening. This cannot be happening. So he is forced to sit there and just sit with Lamplighter while he's watching all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, you got to see my reaction. But anyway, during this whole time that he's sitting there talking about this, Starlight, it meets up with her mom, and she's trying to talk to her. Like, her mom never left. And they're talking in this little diner and cafe area, whatever. And at some point, her mom is like, why don't we just go away? Let's just get away. I've already cleared it with, who, Angela, whoever it is. She's like, wait a minute, who? At Vought. So here comes her mom, still doing the most. And she's like, oh my God. Now they know where she is. So all of a sudden, something gets thrown through the window of where they are. Her mom gets knocked out. of course, Black Noir comes and takes Starlight away and puts her in Vought in this secluded place. She can't do anything. Her mom also gets captured somewhere. So along the way, Stormfront and I hate even saying his name. Stormfront and Homelander are just basically trying to like take over the world type of thing. So they're on stage telling pretty much everyone that Starlight is a mole and she got caught, and basically everyone is now looking at Starlight like she's a bad person. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here just like itching because I can't stand either one of them at this point. So now Huey is trying to figure out what he's going to do. So they're watching TV and they see now what Stormfront and I was going to say Captain America, Captain A-Hole was doing. And all of a sudden they see, you know, that Starlight is a traitor. And so now Huey's like, oh no, we got to go get her. So he convinces Lamplighter to go with him to Vought to go capture her. This is where things get really crazy. Okay. So they go into Vought and Lamplighter is trying to find his way to this room where he thinks Starlight is. And all of a sudden he goes into the conference room and he's looking up at the statues and he sees that his statue is no longer there. And he's like, oh, I wanted to do this for my dad in front of my statue. And Huey is like, what are you talking about? And he lights himself on fire. I don't know if he did this on purpose, but I think he might have, because at this point everything is going off and now Starlight is able to use her powers to break out and get to her mom. And Huey now has no choice but to take Lamplighter's hand as he's charred up and dead on the floor. And it was so nasty that he had to do it. And the way that he did it was just absolutely disgusting. But anyway, he gets the hand because he needs his Lamplighter's hand to get through all the doors to escape. So he gets to Starlight and the mom, and now they're all together. So they escape, they go. In the meantime, after this whole conference thing that happened outside where Stormfront and Captain A-Hole, that's what I'm going to start calling him, Captain A-Hole, she's kind of looking over and she sees this parent with a baby and she's kind of like reminiscing of her daughter and everything. And Homelander is like, I've got to show you something. And immediately in my head, I was just like, please do not show up to your son with this woman. Of course, what does he do? He shows up in the backyard of his baby mama's house to go introduce Stormfront to his son. Immediately, my blood is boiling. I'm just like, oh my gosh, please tell me he did not do that. He's got like no consideration at all to say anything to Becca at all about what he's doing. Like, he's just forgetting about the fact that she birthed him. Like, this is her mother. And he's talking to his son like, this is my girlfriend and I really want you to get to know her. And she's already talking to her like she's part of his life. I'm like, chick, if you don't back the hell up. So now they're inside of the house and he's basically telling her like, you know, I'm in a lot of movies, and basically they're having this whole conversation. And Becca's like, you know, when you get older, I'll talk to you about them, or maybe. They're like, no. And here comes Stormfront. He's old enough to see all these movies. Like, she is pushing her damn. At this point, I want to literally just her eyes out. Just, it just makes me so mad just talking about it. And she is just weaseling her way into like stepmom mode. Meanwhile, she's like, all right, you know what? I need to talk to you outside, she says to Homelander. So she's asking Homelander to just kind of back off, let him have a normal life. He's growing up differently than he did. So basically they go and they're just like, it's irking me so bad, y'all. It's irking me so bad. So then at one point she's like making dinner, some kind of, you know, whatever. She's popping something out of the oven. Dinner's ready for everyone. She goes outside and these two, I'm trying not to curse and I want to curse so bad. These two numbnuts told this little boy the truth about what happened without even consulting her. Now the boy is like, you've lied to me, don't touch me, I hate you. And he takes off with his son. Like they take him. And I'm like, I cannot believe that they did this. So now, like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, girl, you have no choice but to try to reach back out to Butcher. Like, somebody's got to help you figure this out because now they've got your son. At this point, I would have gotten on the phone. I need to know what happens next because I'm just absolutely pissed off at this point. So now at the end of this episode, there's everybody is seeing this trial unfold on TV, and A-Train and the Deep is watching this at a bar, and of course Butcher and the crew is watching this on their end, and they bring in the doctor because they're all here trying to take down Vought and the Congresswoman. Everybody, this whole courtroom is filled with people, right? And he comes in, and as soon as they're about to swear him in, people's heads just start exploding everywhere. Like, everywhere. The guy, one of the judges, and the doctor, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the lady from Vought, the one that's taking care of it, I think her head exploded. I don't remember because there's so many heads that were exploding. Excuse me, all over this courtroom, and everyone's just kind of looking around, including Maeve and Homelander and Stormfront, and everyone's just kind of looking around like, yo, what is happening? So the Deep is sitting at the freaking bar touching his head like, is mine gonna explode next? Like, who is doing this? What is happening? While, I forgot to mention this, while Starlight is trying to escape, Black Noir catches up to her. They're sitting there fighting, and at one point he's like bashing her head against the table. Maeve comes to her rescue, thank goodness, and stuffs a freaking almond joy down his mouth, and she's like, what are you doing? He has a nut allergy, so that's how she offed him like that. And at one point, Starlight tells Maeve, you can come with me. And she just refuses. And I'm like, man, that could have been her chance to leave. I don't know why she chooses to stay. I don't understand. But maybe something will come out later. We don't know. But I could not. But just when I thought that I just saw the craziest thing, here comes episode 7 of season 2. Everyone's head is exploding in the courtroom. We don't know why, who's doing this, what's happening. Same thing happened to Rainer. We don't know what happened with that and who did that. We have no idea what's happening and who did it. So there goes their chance to take down Vought. There goes Butch's chance to take down Homelander. At this point, I don't even know where this is going to go. But we're going to have to find out on the next episode. But in the meantime, leave your comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed my review and my thoughts. I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like, I don't know, Becca's going to have to call Butcher, and Butcher's just going to have to figure something out to get her up out of there because she's got no reason to stay now. So she's got to reach out to somebody. Yeah. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think of episode 7, season 2 of The Boys. If you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel, hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later. Toodle!